Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday, the 25th of March 2021. So Stockman, that's David Stockman, the former financier to the Reagan administration, says that while Wall Street bubbles, Jay Powell babbles, and couldn't agree more with what David Stockman has to say. He's been right over the years with regards to what the Fed's been doing, again insisting there was no visible sign of excess speculation and threats to the financial stability. And this has been a trend of all of the Fed chairs from Greenspan all the way through Bernanke, Yellen, and now Powell. And speaking of central banks, Kurudo Put, the Bank of Japan, just bought the most stocks in 2021 to halt the Topix rout. So the Japanese stock market, every time it falls, as it says here, we know that the Bank of Japan buys around 50 billion in ETFs on days when the Topix drops 1% and bumps that total up to 70 billion when the Topix suffers a 2% drop or more. So, here you can see the admission of the Bank of Japan actually buying stocks. I think they own 25% of the stocks outright as well, but don't quote me on that. Something that I read last year, which wouldn't surprise me. I know it's been muted with the Fed as well to buy US stocks, but so far it hasn't come off. And speaking of the US stock market, S&P boxed in basically sideways amid signs of retail call buying. That's the options. Appears to be some exhaustion in this sector. There is a sense of decay and attrition happening on the call side, i.e. lack of buyers of call options, which is why the market's trading sideways. But I would also point that it's yesterday, Monday, every day this week, this man has been speaking. So along with Yellen yesterday, so making it very difficult for the market to find any sort of direction. So let's have a look at the implied. I completely forgot this yesterday, and we actually saw a spike from Tuesday to... No, it would be Monday, wouldn't it? Hang on, let me get this right. Today's Thursday, so that's Wednesday, yeah. So on Tuesday, we saw the implied rise from 1583 to 1699. And then yesterday, we saw this rise further from 1699 to 1716. So once again, on the rise, but still green at the moment, because we're still above the 20 bar moving average. Meanwhile, the yield down at 162, and for me, I think there's bond buying going on here to keep this suppressed, because there was momentum behind moving this above the 175 level last week, and that seems to have evaporated. So I'm assuming there's some secretive buying here. Let's just have a look at the 1 month chart, and you can see how we've dropped off that high there. Well, it's got 172, went to 175. So there must be some sort of yield control curve, or yield curve control as it's called, going on at the moment. Meanwhile, news, any more central bankers today? Yep, we've got another two today. We've got ECB Lagarde, the criminal's out, and Bailey is out as well at 9:30 a.m. So keep an eye on that. Nothing from the US. Powell's got a day off along with Yellen. Let's have a look at the market, see what's going on. This is the Dow. The market's stuck in a range, which all markets have been this week because of the number of central bankers coming out. And that said, the market yet hasn't had any direction from any of them to actually break back to the highs, just stuck in a sideways range. The same for the German DAX, which you can see is stuck in a range. So again, it's just a matter of waiting to see what Lagarde has to say today, if she can boost the German market. But what we'll do is mark up from this high to this low, just in case there is a bit of a movement from the central banks to force prices to the upside, or allow them to move back to the upside. So here what I've done is just gone to the recent high, to the recent low that we saw on Tuesday. Yesterday, very tiny bar inside of Tuesday's range for Wednesday, and at the moment we're finding support at the 62% retracement there. So support for the market at the moment. And in the 2 minute, a bit of activity overnight there. Let's just move back to the start of the night session, which we can see there's a bit more movement actually than normal here. So let me just reduce this window. You can see kickoff, there was a lot of activity here, getting the market above the 200 MA and the daily pivot. However, this ran into trouble when it broke through here, rebound, and then was sold back into another cluster of volume here. I'll just move over. And again, we can see that we managed to rally up 50 points, drove through the DP there, and also, interestingly enough, the 200 MA and the DP both see an increase in volume. The market then running out here, quick blast to the upside before prices have come back down, and now are currently trading at the 200 MA and the DP level. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Of course, if you're trading at the DP, you've got an equal distance between the high and the low as a rule. So it just depends on what happens in the futures market when it opens at 7 a.m., which is another 25 minutes away from recording at the moment. So that's the picture as far as the stock markets are concerned. And again, it's going to be a case of waiting for the news, and that's going to be a bit of a pain because a bit like yesterday with the flash news, which we'll look at in just a moment, prices tend to trade sideways waiting for this news. I noticed also here, which I'd missed earlier, we've got day one of the EU Economic Summit again, so there'll be a lot of jaw boning going on there as well. Meanwhile, with regards to yesterday's session, we kicked off in the futures market with prices spiking up. There was a lot of volatility, with teeth in, and then you can see prices finding support with them coming back, but below the 200 MA and the DP at this time. The market opened lower, traded straight down, and you can see they're down towards the low. Got testing here. Then we had some further selling in this bar, and then this bar they managed to bring the market all the way back 25 points to find support just before we got to the first flash news. And as I said in yesterday's market alert, it's a pain in the rear when we have the flash news day, because you can't actually do a lot, because no sooner you're in then they're actually releasing the figures. I'm just trying to see what they were. Oh, this hasn't been released yet. I need to just get past the red bar there. So again, let's just have a look. So there's the first lot of news out. Interestingly enough, the CPI figures for the UK came out lower as well, which again, we know they're rigged, so not much point focusing on this. Then for the Eurozone, this set a precedent really. All of the flash services PMI increased, and it's to be expected. I mean, you're going to see an increase in GDP and in activity in the economy initially as we come out of the lockdowns during this quarter. So the market then moving to the upside on this news. Then we had some more. This time it's the German, and again this came out positive. Market stopping at the DP, then trading back. It just it was as if it was waiting for Powell and Yellen anyway. We did have a buy signal which traded up to, as you'll see in just a moment, up towards the scalp. Didn't quite make it. Getting close to the news. Market has a lack of momentum. So it was a case of saying thank you very much. And if you have a look here, you'll see there's an increase in volume there as well. Prices coming off the close of the previous day. Didn't quite make the scalp, but finding support at the 200 MA there. But with the news being so close, anything could happen there. And prices actually did move down. Didn't take the short because we're close to the news. That was the reason for getting out of the long trade. And of course there's a long trade now, but we're too close to the news. And again, just having a look, see what the result would be. And again, this came out positive, as you can see there. So the Eurozone overall actually coming out at an increase as well. Big increases. Next month will be different, of course. So again, prices sideways to higher on the news once they close back above the 20 bar moving average there and the 5 bar moving average, 2 bars there. Prices then moving to the upside. And then we wait for the next news as the market drifts lower. And then prices just remain sideways, knowing that in the afternoon. They're going to be having to again listen to Yellen and Powell, which I'm just going to fast forward through. There's nothing for the afternoon to speak about. So again, we've got more news, which I was just looking at just to make sure. You saw it flash up there. There it is, somewhere here. So we've got the US flash. This again came out, I think, actually didn't come out positive. Well, it was positive, but it was an interesting news one. Let me just fast forward this. Yeah, it came out at 59, and it was positive, even though it's red. It is actually positive because it actually beat the previous by 0.4, but didn't actually meet the target. So again, this was used as or interpreted as positive by the mainstream media. Now we're getting close to Powell speaking, and we had a sell signal. Again, it was a case of having to get out because you just never know what he's going to say. And also you will see that as we approach the news, you can see there, just removing the trade from the screen, we have buying pressure coming in there as well. And this turned out to be the case. They bought the market at this level because it was then brought back, and then prices traded sideways for the duration of the afternoon session, which you can see there. Also, again, note how they brought the market back here and here to support prices. So that was the stock market for yesterday. Like I say, it's been a week of it, really. A bellyful, to be perfectly frank. I'm fed up of seeing central bankers and hearing about them being out and talking. Today, I think, is going to be the last day. Fingers crossed. But let's just have a quick look to tomorrow. Nobody tomorrow, so that's great. Might have a half decent day's volatility tomorrow then, as there are no central bankers out. It's just the Euro summit really for tomorrow. Okay, that will do it for this one. If there is anything else to report, I will let you know. But as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.